How do men invest? Generally.
Impulsive.
Huh? Impulsive. You know what I call this impulsive? The remote control. Okay? If you're married, you probably had many discussions about the remote control. When I grab the remote control, I start clicking through the channels until something of interest sparks me, and then I leave it on there for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I continue. My wife, on the other hand, will take out the TV guide, look to see what's playing, we'll go to that station and leave it on for the entire program.
And that's what she didn't like.
But we're more impulsive, okay? We have more of a remote control kind of attitude towards investing. Okay, now, what does Wall Street want? Do they want
No,
this?
No.
Or do they want this?
yeah.
They want impulsive remote control. Okay? Not only that, but men don't stick with the strategy very long. Just like the remote control on the TV. So the woman, on the whole, will stay with the program longer. May sometimes too long, but they'll stay with it longer, they'll give it a chance, they'll work with it, find out and figure out what's wrong here before they make a change. Very few women will make it a change in an instant. They want to research it, they're very cautious, very clear. Men, on the other hand, are not. So generally, okay? So every male in this room is an exception, of course. Number 2, a fixed annuity is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission and generally offers protection from inflation. How many people say true? Nobody. Good. It's false. Okay? But let's talk a little bit about it. What is the SEC?
Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yeah. Got it. Do they regulate insurance? No. Annuities are insurance products. Okay? So unregulated on the federal level. Nobody regulates insurance on the federal level. The Securities and Exchange Commission regulates investments, but insurance is an exempt asset. What is the basic philosophy of the Securities and Exchange Commission? The basic investing philosophy here in the United States. It basically says if we give you all the information about a particular investment, then you as a rational individual can make up your own mind. That's the philosophy. And so everything related to the SEC is full disclosure. How does, if I have something to sell or want to get people to invest, how do I give somebody full disclosure? That's where the prospectus comes in. Has anybody ever read a prospectus? Yeah, exactly. But anything that possibly can go wrong with an investment, you'll see it in a prospectus. That's full disclosure. So who controls annuities? What does an annuity mean? Annuity just literally means a contract. So it's just contract law. How long have they been doing annuities or giving annuities? About 200, 300 years. Okay? So who do you think when they write these annuity contracts, who do you think they favor? Insurance company. So use extreme caution with an annuity. There is no overall agency looking out, and only on a state-by-state basis, and it's a contract law. And if you don't read the contract and understand that contract and you sign it, you're going to be held to that contract. Okay. And last but not least, a fixed annuity has no inflation protection. If you have a real good medical insurance, you know, you're pretty well protected from that inflation. If you already send a son or daughter to college education is, you know, major what they're predicting inflation. So each one of us has a personal inflation number somewhere. A fixed annuity, though, is just fixed, and we'll talk about that. That's a big disadvantage. Number 3, insurance agents are required by California law to be compensated through commissions. How many say true?
Yeah.
It is. It's true. You could not pay an insurance agent, say, hey, by the hour. Okay. I've got 3 vacuum cleaners up here. I got a Dyson. Everybody understand what the Dyson is? I mean, that Dyson looks good. It really does. I mean, it has that ball, looks like a robot, you know, I mean, Star Wars. I mean, it really does. Then you have the Bissell. Okay, by the way, what does the Dyson sell for? Somewhere around 500? 500. Yeah, somewhere like that. See it? Everybody kind of knows that. Bissell. What's the Bissell vacuum cleaner? Has a good reputation, seems to work well. Probably around $250, somewhere around there. And then we have the lonely vacuum cleaner that's been around forever called the Hoover. And the Hoover is $95. And by the way, I didn't want to tell you this, but I have my doctorate in vacuumology. I have about 25 years experience. You know, I have a doctorate. I have worked for the variety, I've tested these all out, and I'm here to help you. Which vacuum cleaner do you think I'm going to try to sell you? Why? I have all this experience and education.
You get the biggest
Make more
commission.
money.
I get to, you're really cynical. Okay, let's say I've got a person sitting over here on this side, and he says, you know, he looks like a young college graduate, and he's past 30, and he says, you know, if you want, you can pay me $20. For $20, I'll sit down with you, figure out what kind of home you have, what kind of surface you have, and I'll identify for you which vacuum cleaner is the best for your situation. How many people do you think will pay that individual $20 to help them decide as to which vacuum cleaner to buy?
You might go hungry.
Yeah, well, why is that? You know, I don't know why that is, but it's so true. You're absolutely right.
But the equivalent of that is just buying Consumer Reports.
That's good, yeah, but how many people, there's not that many, well, okay, let me see. Based on Consumer Reports, which vacuum cleaner, what did they say was the best?
Well, Dyson doesn't score very high.
It doesn't. It's the Hoover vacuum cleaner for $95. It has the most power, picks up the most dirt, whether it's on tile or it's on carpet, you know?
Which one do you have?
I have the Hoover, that's 20 years old. Remember, I'm Dutch. But the financial services industry is literally very similar to that. And here you have a state law that says you can't pay somebody you don't even have a choice to have somebody to pay him by the hour to figure out, what an insurance contract or what your insurance needs are. You're always dealing with the salesperson. Now, does that mean everybody who's selling is bad or unethical? No, it isn't. It's just that it's hard to figure out, to separate out the interest, and it makes it difficult. And in financial services, that's the same thing. So, long about way to, but I love the vacuum story. I just wanted to get it in, The first question you should ask a financial advisor is about their education and experience. True?
No.
False.
How many say true? Yeah, it's false. What did I say about the vacuumologist? What experience did I have? 25 years. What kind of education did I have?
PhD.
I had a PhD, and he still wouldn't believe me. Okay? So that's not the first thing you ask. The first thing you ask is, how are you compensated? How are you paid? Anybody who talks about your money, it's number one question that you ask. Now, is this based on, this is what Peter Cote says? No. I already got to pack it out, so we don't have to get another one. In the packet, I think it's 4 pages down. It looks something like this. And it says, the SEC chief valediction, beware of the investment world pitfalls. And it says what investors should do. And the very first question that a person should ask his or her broker is, how do you get paid? So this is from the SEC chief. Okay, this is not from me. You can barely read it, but it's right in there. First question you ought to ask. And it's so true. Remember Long Beach State University was the number one reason why PhDs have their financial advisor? Because they're nice. Why do you think Bernie Madoff? What a great name, isn't it? Madoff. Why do you think he was so, got $50 billion? He was considered one of the nicest people that you ever want to meet. I have people who I sometimes call in Laguna Woods, and I'll go, well, you asked a question about money. And he says, well, yeah, the insurance agent is over here washing my windows. He is such a nice person. Okay? Being nice is really, really important, but how are you compensated is more important. Do not believe affinity organizations tied to an individual's name. In fact, if somebody labels themselves as a Christian financial planner, I would run for the hills. Just like I would if somebody called themselves a Jewish financial advisor. Don't let affinities. It's kind of like if you see a photo of somebody with the 2.1 family and, the police, our last police chief was a perfect example. I mean, here he is, the sheriff. How much garbage did he have in his background? He was Mr. Nice Guy. At the Red Cross, we put him on our board of directors immediately. I can't even remember the guy's name. Mr. Sheriff of America. Corona. Yeah. It's always Mr. Nice Guy. I don't know why that is, but be careful. By the way, I'm not that nice, okay?